month and a half. I feel like all of November and December was a whirlwind, and I really noticed my mental health just draining. Taking this hour in the morning to take care of myself has been life-changing this past few weeks. This is our first week back at work. It's currently Thursday. This coffee's so good. I am just now starting to feel like in the groove of things after what feels like weeks off, months off, to be honest. I haven't vlogged in a while and I'm so excited. Like, you guys are my friends, so I'm so excited to like talk to you again. You all know that I like to focus on like a theme for the video, like a question of the day per se. And I think for this video, I'm gonna focus on two. One, I'm gonna talk a little bit about working from home and the benefits. And then the other question that I'll focus on is, why did I choose to not work at Google? Those are the two juicy questions I'm gonna cover in this video. Feel free to use the timestamps below to, skip around as you want. But for now, I need to jump into work. I'm gonna do that and I will see you guys in a hot second. My favorite thing about this jacket thingy that I got from American Eagle is that it has pockets. It's new now, and if you've watched any of my other videos, you already know what time it is. We're gonna go for our daily walk. Home now. I'm gonna make some spring rolls for lunch, a bunch of veggies that I picked up, and then a few shrimp that I already have at home. So it's a really quick, easy lunch just because you just chop up the veggies. Sometimes I even prep the veggies ahead of time and it makes it even faster, but I don't have them prepped right now, so I'm just gonna do it really quickly. So this is my lunch. These are all the fillings for the spring rolls. I use these spring roll wrappers. The process is actually pretty simple. Dip it for like 10 to 15 seconds. You let it drip, drip, drip. Now it's ready to fill with stuff. Also, my spring rolls don't end up being that pretty. Well, today especially not because I'm in a rush, but I definitely haven't gotten the hang of them yet. I also never put lettuce in them, so this is gonna be interesting. Kind of fold it like a burrito, but this one's not gonna be good. Well, this one's gonna be huge. Okay, I've learned my lesson. Less lettuce next time. I'm using some sweet chili sauce from Trader Joe's. I would make peanut sauce, but I do not have time for it. This is like such a delicious, easy, and very healthy lunch, so. So good. I ended up having like 4 of the spring rolls. That's how much filling I had. And now I'm gonna get back to work. As you guys saw from my to-do list, I just have a few things that I wanted to get done. So one of them is to get one of my PRs that I currently have out merged, and I think that's going to be released today at 3, so in a few hours. And then I also have to make a PR for one of my current tickets. I'm still working on it, but I think I should have it done today. That's what I'm going to be working on now, and I will see you guys a little later. Just texted me and asked me if I wanted to go to Elysian Park. He goes for a run and I usually go for a run too. I may go for a hike today. I'm really sore, but I will see how I'm feeling when I get there. It's in the middle of the workday because the sun is actually going to set in like 10 minutes. So we need to go now while it's still light. Of the 3 important things on my to-do list, I finished 2 of them. I didn't make a PR for that ticket because I ran into a big bug about an hour ago. So I'm working on solving that, but I do some more work when I get back. Gotta get some socks. All my laundry is on my bed. Okay, you guys, the reality of trying to do YouTube, trying to like work on side projects, and trying to work, I'm kind of too scared to admit, but it's this. I've like folded my laundry, but I haven't put any of it away. Anyway, so. So we got to the park. I think I'm just gonna hike because, like I said, my legs are so sore from yesterday. And on top of that, I even forgot a hair tie while I was in a restroom trying to talk to you guys. So there's that. It's getting dark pretty soon. I mean, the sun already set. Not sure if I want to venture from the car because, I mean, it is LA after all. I've got my pepper spray though, so I think we're good. Actually, I think I'm gonna run because I'm like less than 10 minutes away from like a really scenic spot. So I'll run there and walk back to the car. You can sort of see LA I'm so tired. I think that's the fastest I've run that hill. But here's the view. Beautiful. Over there is Dodger Stadium. It's getting prettier and prettier over here. As I'm walking back to the car, I figured I'd talk to you guys about how, oh my god, that dog. I figured I'd talk to you guys about working from home and the pros and cons, going back to the office and all that stuff. So I honestly like a little bit of both. My company, we went through an acquisition around the same time that we went remote. It's really hard for me to tell what changes came from being remote and what changes came from us being acquired. I'd say that it was a good amount of both. A lot of things changed within our company as we were going through the acquisition and not getting fully like transitioned to all the parent company systems and stuff. So a lot of stuff came from that. But the core of working from home has been actually pretty amazing, and I'm very thankful that the industry as a whole adapting more to working from home. I like a remote first company, working from home some days and going into the office some days. Don't get me wrong, I love some things about working from home, but there's something like gathering in a meeting, being in the same room, being in the same space that like connects a team and a company and gets them motivated towards the same goal. I think remote only works best when you've got like an established culture and established company, but I wouldn't start a company as remote only. On the other spectrum, I don't think an in-office only job is for me either, because I like the flexibility of working from home and not having it be a taboo thing. Before we had the option of working from home, but if you work from home too many times, it was a little bit taboo from the team. Like it'd be like, oh, like, do you know what I mean? Like when everyone else is in the office, it's a little weird if you're like the only one that's working from home constantly. When your team is working remote, there's a lot of things that are difficult, to be honest. Maintaining the culture is difficult. Maintaining motivation is difficult. I've noticed myself that in our company, the culture is just not the same and the motivation from people is not the same. My boyfriend's done running. But yeah, that's kind of my TLDR on working from home versus working from the office. I like a little bit of both. Hi y'all, I changed for the like 18th time today. I came back from our park excursion, did a little bit of work, and then I edited. I'm editing my train from Chicago to LA video, and that's like one of my favorite videos I've edited, so you should watch it. I'll link it up here, it should already be out. Anyway, I'm about to make some dinner. I'm gonna make, one second. I'm gonna make some gnocchi. This one's from Trader Joe's, and I just spruce it up by adding chicken, bacon or pancetta. I prefer pancetta, but I only have bacon. So I'm gonna do that, and spinach and onion. And it turns out, I actually have a video on how I make this recipe back when I was like kind of new to YouTube. It's a little cringy. That's basically what I'm following. Oh, and I'm gonna make some roasted broccoli on the side. Today at Whole Foods, I got some chicken because I need it for this recipe. And I've never bought chicken in store at Whole Foods. I've just bought it via the Amazon Prime delivery, so I've never like gone to like grab where the chicken is. So I just went straight to like the meat counter where like they have a butcher and you can like ask for like a pound of chicken, because I didn't see chicken anywhere else, like already pre-packaged one. Anyway, I got this. It was like a local organic chicken, only because I didn't like see any packaged ones, and then I later was looking for pancetta and I was like, oh, there's all the packaged chickens that are like a little bit cheaper than this one, but it wasn't like that big of a price difference. Anyway, all I'm trying to say is this is like the best chicken I've ever cooked and had. It's like so tender. It's chicken breast, but it's so tender. And it's just so good. Maybe I should start getting like the more expensive one. And there's the finished version. I'm just getting comfortable. It's now actually Friday night. I didn't have a chance to sit down and talk about why I don't work at Google yesterday when I filmed the rest of the vlog. Honestly, I was just exhausted by the end of the night. For anyone who's seen my career journey video, the first question they ask is, why don't you work at Google right now? And I mean, I get why they ask that. Working at a Google, an Amazon, a Facebook, or Meta is seen as this very prestigious role, especially outside of the tech industry. I was on that same boat. I used to think Google was my dream company. It was the best job you could have. I used to think that way in college, and that's why I did 2 internships at Google and really wanted to work there. So I get it, and I understand why that is, but I'll just say that it's really not that prestigious, and I can totally make another video where I talk about big companies, prestige, all this thing. But going back to why I chose to give up my Google offer, it really came down to what my career goals are. It took a lot of reflection for me to figure out, like, what do I want to do, and what is going to be my North Star, like the one guiding goal. And that North Star for me is to start my own company, or many companies, until one works out. My biggest goal, and it still is my biggest goal. So you might be thinking, why don't you just immediately start your own thing after graduating? And that's a valid question, and I respect anybody who does that. I kind of wish I had the courage to do that, but I just wanted to build my savings. That is really the biggest thing. If I had more money, I probably would have done that too. I don't want to be in a situation where I can't afford an apartment, somewhere to live, and I'm not financially independent, and that was the biggest reason. I decided that I was going to work for a few years I decided I need to build my savings. I decided I wanted to eventually have my own company. Reflecting on all those things, I was really looking for a company that's going to pay me well and also teach me a lot of things in the process. So those were like my two biggest requirements of accepting a job. For Google, the salaries are competitive. I think I included numbers in one of my previous videos. You can be on the hunt for that, or I'll link it up here. While salaries at Google are very competitive, the learning aspect is not as strong. Your growth is so limited. Most people are on a team that is focused on like one portion of this product that does this specific thing. Think of these big products, think of an Instagram. Instagram is built of so many smaller teams that handle very like specific focused portions of the product. Like there'll be a team that handles notifications, like a full 8-person, 9-person team that just does that. And when you're on a team, you're basically siloed to the scope of the team and the responsibilities of the team, because as a member of that team, you are there to fulfill on the goals of the team. You can't just venture out and like do whatever, right? That structure is really necessary for these huge tech companies. I mean, they have tens of thousands of software engineers, so you really need structure in place. I totally understand it, but it just wasn't my cup of tea. So what drew me to a smaller company instead of Google is that it's basically the complete opposite. There's fewer people and more things that need to get done, so there's always a plethora of learning opportunities. You're always challenged with something new, looking into new technologies, looking into new projects, proposing different solutions. There's always things that need to get done, improvements that can be made. It's a small product, it's a starting product, so there's a plethora of ways you can grow it. In addition to the technical variety in work, I also had access to the co-founders and the leadership of the company, because it is a smaller company. They're around more, you see them in the office, they're more approachable. It's not like I'm walking up to Sundar and being like, "Hi Sundar, I'm like one of your 30,000 engineers. You don't know my name." But at the smaller company, I know the founders, I know the leadership team, and I'm able to have conversations with them. And honestly, that alone is so powerful. Picking their brains on what their journey has been like, any advice that they can impart on you, and learning just from the way they lead the company and handle challenges within the company. I'd say that has really been the more powerful lessons that I've learned. Additional things that I would have never gotten at Google, because it's just not at that stage. It's way past that stage. When I say small, it wasn't a very tiny startup at all. It wasn't like I joined and there was like 3 people. This company was still around, I think 300 people when I joined. But to put it in perspective, that's fewer people than the number of people that work on Google Maps specifically. I initially took a pay cut to join the smaller company. The salaries were comparable between Google and my current company, but the problem was that my current company was private and the stock that I got was worthless. But thankfully, or not thankfully, because somehow I ended up at a big company again, but we got acquired while I'm here. So now all of that stock is actually worth something. So I actually didn't end up taking a pay cut at all. I got pretty much the same amount or maybe a little more. So it worked out. But when I accepted the offer, I took a pay cut in my mind just because I didn't know that we were going to get acquired and that my stock would be worth something. But that just goes to show how much I value the access to leadership. Not only just the access to leadership, but you also have access to a company that is still growing, still has a lot of things to accomplish. You can really learn so much from how to structure a company, what things work, what things don't, just from being inside a company that is still growing at such a rapid pace. And I honestly think giving up Google was the best decision I've ever made. Sorry, I feel like I'm rambling, but I just want to say that that doesn't mean I don't support people who work at Google or any of these big companies. There is some great lessons you can learn from working there. The biggest thing you'll learn working at one of those companies is scale. YouTube has billions of users, Facebook has billions of users, Amazon has billions of monthly users. So you really learn how systems work at scale, which is not something you're probably going to experience at a startup right away, just because, I mean, it takes time to get there. So yeah, that's definitely a pro of working at a big company, and there's so many other pros. You just got to think about what you want from your career and what you need. And I wanted some insight on how a startup is run, some advice on the 0 to 1 phase, just see how things are structured, how leadership handles themselves, lots of things that I could learn, and I wanted to learn because that's kind of what I want to do in the near future. And so I chose small versus big. That concludes my little ramble on why I didn't choose Google. I know people are like, how could you not? But honestly, best decision I've made. That's it for this video. Let me know if you have any other questions. Let me know if you prefer just sit down talking videos with like no vlog, or if you prefer like a vlog and more talking. I'd love to hear your feedback on that. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.